Yeah, so it's recording now.
Awesome.
So welcome, Barney. This
Thank
is
you very much.
this is actually episode number 7. You
It's all
know,
right.
I mean, like for me, I started this podcast after getting out of hospital. So,
All right.
like, you know, why not do something? Because
Sure.
so you are actually yeah, my seventh guest, and this podcast is called the Metal Meltdown. Okay.
Nice.
Um, And yeah, this podcast basically I started because I had gone to, were you there at the Gutslit gig that happened?
Well, like the very first one and the last one, I think. I think they came here like twice or three
The
times.
last
I think
one,
they came here like three times. Yeah.
the
So I,
last one that happened in March. Yeah,
yeah, I mean in Barbara, right?
yeah,
The
yeah.
venue. Yeah.
So
So I was there. Yeah.
yeah, I fell in that. So
Oh shit. Okay.
so that's why because
What happened?
what ended up happening was I fell in the pit. So I
Mm.
landed directly on my hip. So my hip
Holy
bone
shit.
cracked.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, yeah. So after that, I had to get operated and then, you know, get back on my feet.
What were you doing before, if you don't mind me asking? What were you? I mean, obviously working and stuff. Or
Yeah. So I I'm primarily a mechanical engineer, but I was working in sales for a construction company.
okay. Hmm.
So it was just one of those nights. I went to the concert, didn't expect to get thrown down, and then whoops.
Yeah, bro. Sorry to hear about that, man.
No, no, no worries. But
So what did it do? Did it set you back on your job, or what happened? Like, what did?
yeah, because like work from home for sales isn't really an
Right.
option.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
shit, man,
now I'm like job hunting all over again because
bro.
no, because like for 5 months I couldn't really end up going anywhere to work anyway because like the bone itself took 1 month, right? After that,
Yeah.
after that, because I wasn't really moving for 1 month, I had to start physio again, and that has taken 5 months, you know.
Oh man, the things you do for metal, huh? Well, I hope the Guslet guys got you a lifetime backstage pass or access all areas whenever they play anywhere in the world for that.
I mean, I felt kind of bad because I actually took one of my non-metal friends for it, and I wanted him to experience
Jeez,
that.
that's quite the introduction you gave him, man.
Yeah, yeah. But then he ended up going to gigs where I couldn't go, so he got
So you
like
got converted,
he. No, I wouldn't say that. He just enjoyed the mosh pit.
right? Well, of course, after your incident, I think it's an eye opener for a lot of people to
Yeah,
be the mosh pit ethic in general has changed over the years, over the last 3 decades, if you go to see. So you
no,
know
that was Vinod's event, and he came to see me afterwards when I was in hospital,
oh
and
nice, man.
he was like, we need to look at safety because I don't want something like
Sure,
this
dude.
again.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. You get a bunch of retards, man, nowadays, just trying to be the big guy in the house and do
Yeah,
stupid shit. I'm not saying, I mean, I don't know what happened with your incident, but like, you there are mishaps, obviously. And it's just the old school mosh pits. It was a given that you take care of everyone because it's not for fighting. Um, but people try to impress their girlfriend sometimes, which happens. Actually, I say sometimes a lot. And like like you said, you probably had good intentions bringing your friend to show them what a metal gig's like. Still kind of like a novelty thing. The underground bars here and metal gigs, extreme gigs at least.
mm.
And sometimes because it's so rare, you go all out for that one show.
Yeah. I mean, like especially getting the big bands here, that
Yeah,
in
sure,
itself is difficult because
sure.
logistics and all of that, and then sometimes their visas get denied. It becomes an issue, all of that.
Yeah, that's become such a. I mean, you don't have to tell me, man. I know the visas thing is like sleepless nights, man, and so much of paper.
Wait. It went. I couldn't hear that part. Your sound went.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I think my headphones are being a bit funny. Maybe I could just disconnect from here.
You sure they didn't die? Because maybe battery low.
Just give me a sec. Can you speak now?
Yeah,
Okay, but it's like really low. So, oh wait, can you ask you to do a test again?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you now. So I'll just go without these.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I understand because like even I've been going to gigs for a while now. That's when I realized this place had a scene because I was mainly like restricted to albums and all of that.
Oh
And
yeah,
once I started seeing posters for gigs, I was like, oh, we have these. Okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
for so many years, I was under the impression, especially after Desert Rock ended, I was like, I don't
Okay.
know anything anymore.
Oh, so you've been here for a while then?
I was born and raised here.
Oh man, I was born and raised too. I'm surprised we've never met before.
Well, now we have. It's okay.
Technically, yes.
Better late than never, right?
Mm-hmm. What school did you go to?
So I started off in the Jam. You
All
know the
right,
guy?
that's would matter.
Started off there, ended in Wellington.
Yeah, all right. It's all GCSE. Yeah.
Wellington, not anymore. The IB now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've graduated like 2000, so it's been a while.
Oh man, I was 14 years after that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember back when GCSEs made life easier.
Yeah. I mean, I went to St. Mary's Catholic High School, man. So I had Sundays off. I had it
Oh,
good.
yeah, that was opposite us. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was a good time. I hated school though. I mean, one of the happiest days of my life was when I knew I was not going back there.
Mm,
I was one of those guys. I just did not think this is, if any use to me. And like, I mean, obviously, you got to get your degree to fall back on something. But like that last day of school, knowing I'm not going back there anymore, was like the best thing ever.
I mean, that's usually the case, man. In both my
Honestly, a lot of guys that I speak to, they're like, "Oh man, I miss school." I'm like, "Yeah, good for you, man," because I fucking wanted to get out as soon as possible.
it depends on the person. A lot of people are like, "Oh, we miss those days now because you're an adult."
Oh, we don't have friends anymore, or we can't do shit, or whatever. Or they got married and their wives don't let them go out of the house, or whatever. Fucking stupid shit like that.
Mm,
When I was in school, um, it's because there was no one who was into what I was into. I was actually doing my level best to kind of convert people to pick up instruments. Forget about even playing metal, just get them to play an instrument so I could jam with someone. And then once you got to that stage, probably the year after, they would start to slowly get into like some of the rock stuff and then the metal stuff. So those were like my last 4 years of school was just kind of like going to school just for the sake of it,
mm.
just to keep my parents happy, pass those cold grades or whatever, and then head the hell home out. And in my time, I would like record cassettes and like educate people in my class, like classmates to just check this out, like listen to these bands and stuff. Because we had, like you said, no access here whatsoever. So I just felt like it was cool to find people I could, get to play with and try to
Yeah,
get them into this kind of stuff.
I mean,
Nobody was into this. Everyone was into playing arcades and parties and stuff, which I also did. But it was more like video games or maybe sports, and then the idea of like not even being a musician, just listening to this music was like something in the background for most people.
yeah, no, and especially like even the Jam. A lot of people weren't into stuff like this. I mean, 90% of my friends over there used to only listen to like Hindi music and shit, and I was like, that's. I mean, but
Which is all right. I mean, listening to music was not a thing you would think of making a career out of, or would dwell into where you want to pursue it, like genuinely or organically. It was just what's on the radio is what you know, and that's it. The same 20 songs, you know,
yeah,
92 FM. Oh, we had like just two, I think, 104.8 and 92 FM English radio stations. Now we have
mm,
like six, but still,
okay.
they still play the same five fucking songs over and over again. And it's like, it's,
Virgin plays 10 of them all the time.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Sure, it's like retarded. Even the people on the airwaves were just not doing their jobs, doing like proper research of music or what's out there, or just even like an hour a week of just like rock alternative stuff was not a thing. There were guys who tried. There was like a few people I know who I've done interviews with, but then that got taken off like within 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, the way I got into metal was basically I had a friend who played bass, and he started showing like metal to the rest of us, and I got interested, especially in death metal. That's where I started. I
Right.
didn't start with like thrash and all of that.
Oh
Like,
shit. Okay. So you went straight into what exactly? What wave of
so
bands?
so for me, like the first few bands I heard was like he started me off with like Despised Icon.
Okay. Right. The
Um,
deathcore.
yeah, he started me off with old Nerve Cell, like
Really? Like
Flesh and Memory is that type.
yeah, yeah. 98
Mm,
probably. Human Chaos maybe.
yeah, and then
Oh, that's
put,
cool, man. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. It's
he
interesting.
put me up on some Melodeath also. Your Dark Tranquility, Arch Enemy, all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I went the other side also, saw the thrash, got over that, and I was like,
Yeah. I mean, Despise Icon when they broke, it was like early 2000s, and that was when deathcore was not even a thing. They just did this, and
yeah,
then it
like
became massive.
I
10 years
mean,
later.
yeah, back then I used to listen to all the OG stuff, like your All Shore Parish and all that sort of
Oh yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that's right. Those were the first wave, I would say, of bands who did that. Despise Icon, also Parish. I don't know who else come to mind, but yeah, there were some cool bands. Beneath the Massacre, I think they were more extreme, technical. But yeah, I remember that was like the 2000s, man. That was like when new metal was there, but then deathcore kind of came in, and it became almost fashion statement again. The whole metal scene.
But like for you, what's your influences with Nerve Cell? Like, what's got you started down this path?
Oh yeah, I mean I say the same story every time. So in '94, summertime, I was off school. We had 3 months off, and so the thing is with me in my house, there was always music. Like my parents always had parties. There's always the radio on. If not, MTV was on. There was always like there was a vibe at home, but music was constantly playing. Whether it was like country western, my mom listening to her stuff, or like my dad's listening to Rolling Stones or the Beatles or whatever. Or if none of that was on, it was just in the kitchen there would be a radio on or something. It was always there. I was obviously listening to it subconsciously, music, and then when you're exposed to all this pop culture, at that time MTV was everything. Videos were a thing. Um, when you're exposed to just that and you're not even paying attention, but it's just there for years in your teens, and then in '94 I was 12. Um, I was awake at 3 or 4 because I had no school. I was on summer holidays. I was reading a book or just watching TV or something, and then MTV Headbangers Ball came on, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is weird. Like, what's going on here?" It's the host. I can't remember the name of the guy, but it was the. I think we used to get the UK edition of Headbangers Ball on MTV. So yeah, that came on, and then I was just like, it really caught my attention because I saw these guys with long hair on stage, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck? This is like wild, you know? What have I been doing all my life?" And it's just really intrigued me. So I turned the volume up a little, and it was Sepultura Under Siege. They had a DVD out, a VHS at that time. It was called Under Siege Live in Barcelona, and they were playing a song called Desperate Cry. And then
Mm,
immediately after that was Slayer Seasons in the Abyss, the music video.
mm.
And I was like, it was like my calling. I saw that, and I was like, and I always wanted to grow my hair long because I was into like WWF stuff.
Yeah,
Uh, like Bret the Hitman Hart was like my hero, and yeah, that old '90s, mid '90s WWF. What was it called? WWE at that point?
no,
No, it
he
was
is now. At that
years
time,
ago.
it was WWF because it was
WWF.
work. Because it
Yes,
was.
that was like that kind of era.
Mm,
So, and at this point, I thought Michael Jackson was heavy metal too because he was like, he had that song of Billie
yeah,
Jean and
like
not Billie Jean,
beat it,
the
the
one,
southern.
Beat It, and also the one where Slash was on guitar, Given to Me. And I was like, this is fucking cool, man. He's a rock star. And then I heard this stuff, and I was like, bro, this is next level shit. I gotta figure out who these bands are. I got to do some research. I got to go to the record store tomorrow and ask for some Slayer. And yeah, man, that just I stayed up and I watched the entire hour of what the show was. Just started penciling down literally from that first episode these band names because you never heard of these guys. And and then every other Saturday night, I would wake up at 3, put my alarm to wake up at 3 when everyone thought I was asleep. But I would go to the living room and just tune in for this hour. And it's not like, oh, I wish I got caught. My parents are gonna shout at me or get angry and stuff. It was just like, I'm into this music now. So I
Okay.
would record the VHS videos and I would rewatch them during the week, and then the idea of playing the guitar came in naturally, and that's how I got into this stuff. So pretty much it was whatever MTV Headbangers Ball was airing at the time, and the bands alive at that, mid '90s era. I started discovering bands every week then, and I started getting MTVHS cassettes to record them, and then do my research of hearing these songs, understanding the genre specifics, going into record stores and asking for these names, which were all bands here in Dubai. But you'd get the occasional one-offs like Pantera, Vulgar Display, or Divine Intervention by Slayer was here. I remember Master of Puppets, so Ride the Lightning, like all those, whatever metal they had or they thought were metal or what I figured was metal. Just looking at album covers, I would just go to record stores, pick it up, figure figure it out, listen to the albums religiously, and that was my escape from.
Yeah. I mean, like before streaming and MP3s and shit, like LimeWire and all of that, I used
Yeah,
to go to Virgin, see what they had, and just pick out from there.
right. But we were so restricted with what came here. We were so restricted. Like, so I had my Christmas list 6 months in advance to all my cousins or uncles or whatever who were traveling, who work overseas, or any family member coming from like Canada or Australia or I don't know, Europe. I would just tell them the 2 or 3 albums I want for my Christmas gift, and I would get like at least 20 CDs by the end of every year.
Yeah.
And then the Metal Hammer has to be give a shout out to them because I went out to stores here, bookstores or whatever, and they would have Kerrang, Hit
Yeah.
Parader, Metal
Magazine
Hammer,
there, yeah.
and they would give these free CDs along with the magazine content, and that was another source of me figuring all this out.
Yeah. For me, I got lucky because like at the time that I got into metal, that's when MP3s became widely available.
Right.
I
Winamp, remember that player? Winamp?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had
That
like 1,000 songs on Winamp for my
yeah,
Winamp.
that and LimeWire.
Yeah, the green, yellowish kind of logo. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Uh,
went through all of that, man.
I
That was
I
a good time. That was like a lot of bands came out and had that at their doorstep. Like that was a great way to get out there.
mean, like at that time, torrenting wasn't a thing.
Right.
Once that came and LimeWire slowly started dying, I shifted to that, and I was
Sure.
like, let's get the records out
But
from here.
but but till today, man, I'm still very old school with my collection. Like I still buy CDs and stuff.
Yeah,
I still have my cassettes.
I mean,
I still have the magazines. I'm a religious like CD buyer. Like I'm just a collector, man. I love the whole package. I love the physical aesthetic of going through artwork, appreciating it, the lyrics, the thank you notes, the studio credits, and all that stuff. It's a great knowledge, and I guess being in the scene and in a band myself, that's good to
yeah, it
navigate through how
gives
they
you
go and where this sound came from. I'm just curious all the time with all this stuff, so I've just been a fan and a collector, and I'm just head deep into all of this shit.
yeah. For me, like at one point, even I got done with torrenting, and I was like, let's try and support. So I started using Bandcamp
Yeah,
and actually buying the stuff.
yeah. Oh,
So
that's cool. Yeah, whatever you can, whatever suits you. I'm just a big
I mean,
collector, I
for
guess.
me, like if the band comes here, I buy the merch and I keep it. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of special because you got them at a time where this album was out and you got to meet them, so there's some story to it.
mm.
Yeah,
and, and
that's
like
kind of the best way to support a band. That's kind of like the experiences you want to have as a concert with them. That you saw them at this moment. It was the time that you shared with them, and that's the most that was available at this given time. Probably not again.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like when I look back at like Desert Rock Fest and all of that,
Yeah.
that was the proper event, like
Oh yeah. It's
when
yeah. Go ahead. It's sorry, you were saying something.
No, when it felt like, we have something here.
Oh yeah, and you know what's sad is that everyone says that now. So while it was going on, nobody really spoke about them. It was just like a thing you go to, and it was like, oh yeah, it's on our doorstep now. These lineups that they bought were like incredible. You would never get these lineups. I mean, these are like Rock and Ring lineups, man, and they're putting it all in such a small place like Dubai. So they were outdoing themselves, and that was kind of like their downfall too. And I'm saying all of this because I know the promoters personally. They would, I mean, Nerfcell played 3 out of 6 Desert Rocks.
Yeah, I
So
remember you all were at the last one also.
yes, the 2009 one. So in
Mm.
2004 when they started, well, I mean we weren't there, but we played the 2005 one with Machine Head, Sepultura, Within Temptation, The Darkness, and Urs and another band, Juliana Down. So that was the first year they asked us to
I
play.
know Juliana Down. I know Juliana.
Yeah, so that was like that was like our first festival ever we played, obviously, and it was on home ground. But what was cool was that they acknowledged us just 5 years into our career with one EP out, to give us this platform to play. But that, to us as guys in a band playing death metal in Dubai, that was our big,
Stop.
motivation to kind of like, fuck, we're gonna do this all 9 yards. We're gonna go all out.
Yeah.
Because it's when we got that platform, we were doing the club shows and the underground gigs in Dubai all those first initial 4 or 5 years. But when we did that festival and we kind of crossed paths, shared the stage with these big bands, and really like naturally networked on ground with meeting our idols and stuff, we were like, this is it. This is what we want to do now.
No,
There was no
plus,
going back there.
yeah,
And
plus it changes the whole.
Noah and Jackie, who were the promoters of Desert Rock, they asked us to join the next time in 2008. But when they asked us to play 2008, they also asked us for them to manage us because they saw our work ethic going up, from 2005 all the way to 2008. We were already like going to Europe at this point. So they just took a call on us, and they asked us to play the next edition, which is 2008, and
Mm.
they said we also want to manage you guys because we think we can take you to that next step and stuff. And obviously, all of that helped. But knowing the backstory, they were doing it constantly at a loss financially. Like they were doing so much for such a small demographic.
Mm.
Um, Same amount of people would come, no matter who you bring on top of Iron Maiden, or on
Yeah,
top
that's
of
true.
Prodigy the same night. You're still
That,
going to get the same 5,000 people, 8,000 people, not more. So the bills kept going up to top themselves every year, but then that's their downfall too. And then unfortunately, none of these magazines or award shows in Dubai gave them any credentials. They
yeah.
never acknowledged them. They never, that would have helped give some morale at least to continue. But then when you're doing it at a loss for like 6, 7, 8 years,
No
it
point.
doesn't make sense. But that was everything. We were blessed to have all of that, just as concert attendance, to see the whole experience.
Mm, for sure.
Like Motorhead, you're talking about Arch Enemy, Korn, Incubus, Machine Head twice, Sepultura, Opeth, like yeah, all these bands, man, that you would never think of.
Yeah, I remember the last one. I,
And again, mind you, these bands they played here, but their albums weren't in stores. Like you
yeah, yeah,
in
that's
stores, but these
that's
bands were physically in person playing here, and that changed the whole dynamic. In typical Dubai fashion, they saw there's a huge demand for all of this stuff. Bring it in.
yeah.
So you had discographies now of Sepultura on shelves. You had the Panteras, the Opeth albums that you didn't get, and the Arch Enemy, and all of that. And it's just like, well, okay, this is another economic boom for tourism again. And then for metalheads, and then the market opened up too, because this stuff was literally legit bad before. I used to go with my list, and I used to get like 1 out of 10 that would be available openly on shelves.
No, I mean even for me, when I used to go to Virgin, look at the records, there used to be like, for example, there would be one Lamb of God record, one
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. I mean, I don't know where you went to see that. Probably in Virgin, yeah, yeah,
Virgin.
yeah, yeah.
I
Because
remember.
I know the music buyer there. It was Mutazim, who now runs Metal East Records. So he was the music buyer for a few years there, and then he started putting his personal taste into the buying stuff that came into the country. So then we would get in slowly but surely all the metal stuff.
Yeah. I I mean, I'm not complaining, that that festival died, but
Yeah,
I mean,
of course not.
it did open a lot of doors, you know.
For sure, man. Just for people to get introduced to this style of music and also the whole festival experience as well.
And like now we have Vinod's company doing the gigs, and his thing next month also he has that three band festival, right? With
Oh yeah, destruction on Earth and stuff. I'm definitely gonna go for that.
and then I think Middle East has Apocalyptica. That's
Oh,
the
I don't think that's a Metal East Records event. I think that's someone else. It's another promoter, but they're promoting it. Metal East is
yeah,
promoting it, of course. Yeah,
and of course Collective had defeated Sanity.
right. Yeah,
So
I
I
saw
mean,
them the first time around. They came.
oh, I went this time. I went this time.
The same promoter, the Filipino guys.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun though. There were kids there too.
That's cool, man. I think the scene is very active now. I mean, you got promoters on different levels for the underground stuff, which is meant to be in that sort of vibe, that sort of venue. And you have the bigger guys who do the stadium stuff, and then you have the middle pace guys like who are doing the club circuits, which is where this genre really strives in, the
Yeah,
club.
yeah, I noticed that. I mean, but tell me something, Barney. Now, how long have you all been a band? Close to 20 years? Easy?
Yeah, 24 this
20.
year.
So, like, since you're the only original member now,
Hmm.
um, do you has the writing changed?
No,
Like
not at all. It's not
direct?
changed. I mean, yes, I mean, sure. This I get asked this quite a bit. It's not really changed. I've always been involved in the writing from day one. In fact, from the very start, I've been involved as the writer or co-writer, if you want to say. Um, when we put out the first EP was Human Chaos. Everything there written. Preaching Venom as well, written as a band. It was only until Past Present Torture uh, after Psychogenocide. That on that album, we kind of took the decision to give each one a responsibility to write songs fully from start to finish, and just see how it goes. It wasn't like a rule, but we said we'll take it
Yeah,
this track. Yeah, we'll try this route this time around and see how that comes out. And also, it kind of saves time and when we have to, because we had a plan like in 3 months we want to go to the studio and record an album. So if you could maybe come up with 2 or 3 songs and we hear it, we share it obviously with each other. And then if someone has something to contribute on top of what someone has written from a full song, then obviously we listen to that feedback and if it's for the better of the song, we will consider it. But just to speeden up the process and to try something different, it was just on Past Present Torture where we each wrote songs. And I say each meaning just Rami, who was the ex-guitarist, and I. So we were like the main writers. So yeah, I mean, the songwriting has not changed at all. It's got a lot more. It's changed only because it's all on me, and that's the more of a weight kind of thing on me. But it's not pressure at all. I love having no rules and just writing freely. Um, but I love also hearing different people giving their feedback. So I have a few allies I can count on one hand who I would share that with, and just hear people's. They're not even musicians, maybe they're just fans of Nervecell for
yeah,
years,
makes
or someone I really value their insight. So I've been doing that. I have 4 new songs ready actually that I've written all by myself.
because the last single was this year, right?
Yeah, last year we put it out. We won tour last year, so we put it out around that tour. When we saw the music video, because it was more of a statement to say that we're not going anywhere, even though the lineup has changed, but also just to give some physical idea or appearance of who the new lineup is as well. I wanted to put a music video out and release that as a single, and that song is not in any way an intention of or an indication of how the band is going towards or what's going to sound like. It was a more straightforward song just to get it
Yeah,
out.
I noticed that.
Yeah, but there's other stuff I've written. Like I said, I have like 4 songs at the moment that are way more that are a completely different vibe. I mean, it's all heavy, but it's a different vibe. There's more dynamics. There's more of an atmosphere going on. This was more straight punch in the face, like we're
Yeah,
coming up again.
yeah.
Um,
But it was nice because, like, for me, I started in that era of Nerve, so I know that more than Atmosphere.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to show in the in that discography. Like if you want me to break down each album, I can tell you the characteristics of how I would define them to be different from each other. But I like to leave that to the fans because I can see the difference. So I'm sure the fans can, you
Yeah,
know. And we established our sound, so to speak, by that third album, I believe. So, and I really think, like for me, if you ask me, I think if someone has to, you know, get introduced to Nerve Cells today, I would probably put the last record we put, Past, Present, Torture, because I really think that's kind of like our strongest album in terms of production and like just songwriting as well. It was as diverse as we could get, but also keeping it together and having some sort of sound nerve sort of signature in there.
I mean, for me, I always hold Preaching Venom very high because
Yeah,
no, because that was the record that got me in. You know,
right. And I'm laughing only because I hear that a lot.
that's
I hear
how.
that a lot. So when you say that, it's like, yeah, they're not bullshitting me. It can't be the same old lie every time. And I hear that a lot, bro. So you're not alone in that camp.
No, because like when my friend showed me Preaching Venom, I was like, "This band is here." He was like, "Yeah."
That's another thing. Well, yeah, I have a reason for why that's the consensus around that was at the time because when it was 2007, 2008, and honestly, from this part of the world in the Middle East, no one kind of put out an album with that sort of production. You
True.
know, there were great bands, and they were all underground, including ourselves. But we took a conscious decision ever since the EP came out in 2004 and about till about 2007, playing those songs and traveling as well outside. We just said, you know what? If we want to be an international band, we got to get the international acceptable sound as well. We
Mm.
can't have the same excuse. Oh, we're from the Middle East. Have pity on us. This is the best we could do. So we put our pocket money aside 2 3 years in advance to to have a budget in place to get this produced the right way. Work with the guys we are fans of albums that came out from those studios. So we did homework, we did research, we all collectively got together and said, okay, this studio put this album out. This is an album we all love the sound of, or the drums particularly from here. Who mixed that? Who produced this? Where did we master? Who did a good album that we all three of us like? Let's just approach them. Well, what do we have to lose? If they don't like us, they'll say they don't, or they'll just bullshit us and say they're busy. But we did our work of writing these songs, demoing them, and then approaching these studios internationally and asking them if they could work on our stuff. And obviously they agreed because that's unheard of. A band from Dubai asking someone in New York to master or in Poland to mix. And we did what we could do, what we were confident in doing, which is recording these songs. Tracking the guitars and the vocals, the drums, but just sending them the raw tracks to put their touch on it.
Yeah.
'Cause we like those studio houses where these albums that we own came from. So we're like, why not get them to work on our shit? It just wasn't rocket science, you know. So we took that step, and it was a bold step at a time where no one was even considering doing this, let alone put out albums. People were just playing live; they didn't care about recording.
True.
So we were a little ahead of the game in that, I guess. And then that's what probably was the shock value. And it came out, like you said, is these guys are from here? Like that's exactly what everyone was saying. Even the European guys were like, "This is a band from Dubai." Like they're. So it was cool, man. That was a great time. It's so different now, though. Like now, and I don't want to divert, but you could be a band living in any part of the world today and get that a crystal mint sounding thing at home by yourself on a MacBook Pro.
True. True.
Yeah, so it's a hard to gauge, but at that time it was very novelty, for what we did. And then, like I said, that just convinced us. Like hearing fan feedback, hearing reviews that we got from credible magazines and webzines and all of that. The interviews kept coming in, so we obviously gauged from all this buzz that we were not seeing for a long time. This was all news and new to us,
Yeah. True.
and we were just enjoying it, man. We were just like really getting inspired by the day, and that
No,
was a debut album too. So we wanted to do it right because there's no going back after that.
but tell me something. Like, since we're talking production, do you feel that now it's become, I don't know, people seem to throw around this whole new tag of it being overproduced
Yeah,
or
there's I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure, 100%. And there's less bands doing it organically to the extent that they're not even what you're hearing is not even what they played. That's the problem. That is what overproduced, I guess, for the term is coming from. Because I felt that not just yesterday. I felt that easily in the 2015, 16, 12, maybe even like as far as 10 years ago. Easily, I felt that when I heard some albums that came out, just extremely overproduced, almost plastic. I mean, you can hear it. Most death metal albums today, all the kick drums are just
yeah,
sampled,
it's very clean, you know?
and there's that's the thing we as musicians say, well, the ones who know what I'm talking about, is a thing called feel. When you play with feel, you can that comes out on the records. You can hear that on plenty of records. And now when everything is quantized and like the same exact hit, the same frequency, it's it's absolutely robotic. And it's even worse when these same bands, I'm not going to throw any names obviously, when these same bands go on stage and completely do not sound like that. So
Yeah,
it's one thing if you put out an album behind closed doors and you sound crisp and it's great and you're tight, but when you bring that shit to the stage and you can't pull it off, it is downright embarrassing.
mm,
I mean, like if I was a fan of any of those bands, I would not ask my money back, but I would not be proud to say I'm happy with this
yeah,
because it's just bullshit. You're just fooling everyone, including yourselves, and it's just nothing there to be proud of. It's just crap, and that takes away everything I got into metal for because it's just the most fucking organic thing you can do, and it's you're naturally putting your shits and your sweat in this, and when you play it live, it should actually sound fucking better because it's in your face and raw. You're hearing like pure emotion, sweating your ass off, bringing that energy out there. But when it's all fucking click tracked and it's all like perfect to the millisecond, and you don't play that shit live, you can't pull it off. It's horrible, man. It's just not metal for me anymore.
yeah. I mean, like a lot of people that I've spoken to usually bring up the fact that, especially nowadays with the use of triggers,
Yeah,
it starts to sound a bit, not a bit, but a lot more artificial.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, I don't know if you talk to a lot of drummers about this, and everyone has different opinions, of course. But if triggers actually make your mistakes shine out more.
Yes. Yes.
So if you're going to take the option of using a trigger, you better be fucking tight, man. Otherwise, you are going to be exposed big time.
I've
So
heard that many times.
you, of course, you'll hear it. I mean, you'll hear it without even paying attention to it. So those guys that I mean, essentially, triggers are used to have tightness come out, because you're playing in such fast tempos where it could just be a blur. But when you have a defined kick drum and you're playing that shit, every hit, then it's gonna fucking sound amazing. It's gonna back up your guitars, sound more chunky, and it's gonna have a lot more beef to it. But when you're not a good drummer, you're like going on a suicide route, man, with that. So I guess I mean I like hearing triggers when they're placed correctly and when they're used and done right. I have no issues with triggers. I think it's you need it because at those tempos you're not going to hear the difference. You're going to hear just a wall of noise. There are a lot of old school guys that don't use triggers and still play fucking like phenomenally well.
Yeah, but and that, I mean, is some power in the legs, man.
For sure. And of course, you got to honor those guys. Those are like guys like Dave Kulross. He's a Malevolent Creation. He did some Suffocation stuff. I can't. There's a few guys out there.
There's many. I mean, there's
Yeah.
Romain Goulon also, who was in.
Right. Necrophagus and stuff. Yeah.
His feet used to sideswipe like crazy.
Yeah. It's awesome. Like I said, a lot of old school guys don't use triggers. Grave. I remember when I bought Grave for a gig here from Sweden, old school death metal guys. And he didn't use triggers, and the sound engineer I had was a big, death metal fan, but he obviously wasn't old school trained. So he was like, what channels your triggers come from? He's like, I don't use triggers, man. He was like, he just thought he saw an alien or something. Like it's crazy. Some guys can't consider that. Like it's cool, man. Like I think each to their own, man. Each to their own. There's some old school drummers who play amazingly well without triggers, and there's some modern guys who use triggers from day one.
but have mastered it.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, one of my favorite drummers is Jamie Saint Marat from Ulcerate, and
Hmm.
his feet do a lot of fun stuff. And
Yeah, I
he,
mean, they're just an avant-garde band in general, man. So such a weird band to listen to. I mean, in a very good way. They're from New Zealand, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even the guy from Origin, his
Oh
feet,
yeah,
hands,
arm strength. Oh my god, he's a fucking maniac.
he's got like T-Rex hands, you know?
Yeah, he's such a great drummer. Yeah, they're one of those modern guys, man. He's up there. Yeah, for sure. He actually shines out in the early original albums. He was like the main guy you listen to.
Yeah, I mean, like all these guys who are able to maintain speed and technique and
Yeah,
you know do
but
all.
Harris, man, he's
Yeah,
also
I
just
mean,
incredible.
but how many bands has Hans Grossman been in? Now I've lost count.
Yeah, yeah, but everything he touches is just you can tell it's him. He's got such a elegant style. I mean, I bought Obscura here.
Yeah,
Again, I don't remember when, but like this is easily 10 years plus ago. And just having talked to him, he was just putting out his DVD that year when they played in Dubai. So I had a good chat with him. But he talked to him. He's the most simplest guy. Like if he walks past you, you won't even think this guy is like, a drummer or metalhead or whatever. But when he's behind that kit, man, he's hard to not be noticed. I mean, he's fluid with his stuff.
oh, 100%, 100%. I
Yeah, I
mean,
would love to play drums, man. I would love to. I mean, there's no metal drummers. There's a a decline of drummers in general. But metal wise, I would. I mean, I'm pretty much too late to get into it right now. But I was always in school. I was always tapping my desk, uh, in classes and with my fingers like doing blast beats and shit, just like double
yeah,
bass on his hand, and it's just fucking going crazy. I love drums, man. I think that's a fucking amazing, fun instrument, especially for metal. I mean, it's limitless what you could do. It's so fun.
yeah, and like it gives you so much perspective on the music. Also,
Yeah, of course.
like for me, I remember. I mean, what did I like? I listen to a lot of prog as well. So
Sure.
your Thal and all of that,
Like
and
a who? Sorry.
Thal, right? The Swedish shit, like
Oh, I don't think I
like
know that.
uh, Humanity's Last Breath and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, of course. Yeah, they're brutal, man.
They're nasty.
Yeah, yeah. Emmanuel Last Breath. I remember them. Yeah. I think I saw them or I heard something. I don't remember. But I know they fucking yeah.
Like that band I listen to for Buster's tone
Mm-hmm.
because his tone is very interesting.
Okay.
I don't know what key he plays in, but it's very interesting because it's very low, and the fact is he's left-handed, which
Wow.
I haven't seen that many
Yeah.
left-handed.
I can't think of many. Yeah.
Yeah. But tell me something. Since you and I both listen to a lot of records, have you heard anything this year that has,
Oh, this year. Okay. So man, I'll have to pull out my player. I heard did the Skeleton Remains put out a new record this year? Earlier this year, Skeleton Remains.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
It did.
yeah. So that was, I mean, those guys are killing it. I love their sound, man. I love what they're doing. What else came out this year? I heard the new Aborted. It is what you expect from Aborted. The
Yeah, but
same.
but the,
Uh,
but the one thing I don't understand with that record is you already have Sven. Why do you need a feature on every single
yeah,
track?
that's kind of true. I think he got bored. I think he wanted to just. I mean, I saw an interview he did. He said he just did too much touring and he got all these guys there, and then he wanted. I guess for him, it's experimenting is different. But yeah, you have a point. I mean, he could very well pull it off himself. He's been doing it for years. But yeah, I mean, I heard it. I can't think of anything this year that really threw me off. Um, Maybe you should remind me because I'm constantly listening, but I'm also not paying too much
For,
attention to go
for,
discover.
for me, like I heard a lot of underground stuff. So
Okay.
one of the things I heard, which stays with me always, is 1 second. I'll just tell you because it's an underground record, but I enjoy the shit out of it. You know the Fulci record, Fulci, the new one.
Oh no, I heard the band, but I haven't heard the record. No.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Then, of course, I'm waiting on Peeling Flesh because
Okay.
Peeling Flesh has a record coming, which should be fun.
Okay.
Um, then also, I have heard the what's it called? Of course, the Ulcerate record, the new one.
Yeah, yeah. I heard like the single or one or two singles. I don't know what they put, but I heard one for sure.
Yeah, then I'm waiting for Disentomb also to drop their
Oh,
EP,
cool.
which is coming.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm very lucky this way because I have so much of people who just send me stuff. So I'm kind of like I just got really spoiled. I just kind of wait. I believe if it's good today, someone is gonna find the need and take the trouble and effort to send it to me.
I mean,
So
like, I mean,
I
like,
just wait on that own shit.
I mean, like
Um,
for me, uh, I'm in Vinod's group. You know, the
yeah.
big group that he has.
Okay. I mean, I probably know a lot of people in there. Yeah.
So usually everybody is posting, right? So
Right.
all the new shit I post, and then they're like, "Oh, this came out also."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when Defeated Sanity dropped the new single last week,
Like 5 days ago or something. Yeah.
that was something. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean it's underground metal now is got a bit too crazy for me. I mean I listen to it and I'm like that's cool, but I'll be honest, I don't find myself pressing the play button again or
No,
repeat.
no, 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 no.
So
A lot of it doesn't have any repeat value.
well, yeah, a lot of people you said it. That's you took the words out of my mouth. So there's a few bands that did that for me. But again, I'm not just being biased to like 20 years ago. I actually have hooks in my head that make me go back and listen to that.
But
And I'm just talking from a guitar perspective too. Maybe because I'm just thinking riffs. That's what sticks with me more.
you
But
know,
yeah,
I've noticed that this is a problem with death metal, especially now, especially in the underground, because a
sure.
lot of like death metal that comes out of the underground, you listen to once and then you forget about it. But
Yeah, no, I mean that's how I feel with a lot of records. And like I said, Skeletal Remains were one of those bands that came out when they first came out. Like again, this is again at least 10, 12 years ago when their
yeah,
first album came out, or EP. Like right from then, I knew they were taken off from where Morbid Angel kind of stopped. That sound, at least.
yeah,
Obviously, Chris, the guitarist, who's the main guy, he's got like tons of session guys doing his work on different albums as well. But like he's been so consistent in keeping that sound, which I found killer. And they were like, there's another band called Vitriol.
yes.
Yeah. So there's another band like those guys. I find they stand out because it's fucking extreme, but
Which,
it's passionate, man. It's passionate shit. Like,
but Vitriol, I mean, the new record that came out,
yeah,
Suffer and something,
yeah,
uh, that was a much easier listen compared to the last record that
yeah.
came out.
Well, sure. He's trying to get more you know, artistic, I guess, with his shit. It's I say artistic, but to someone it'll just sound like noise. If you give it to some metalheads, they think that's just noise because it's too extreme for them. But as a musician, I really see what they're doing. And then
Yeah.
there's this other band called Blood Incantation that got my attention as well in recent years.
Oh, for me, in recent years, one of the bands that I got into that not a lot of people enjoy is Full of Hell.
Oh fuck yeah, man! Those guys are insane.
Full of Hell is categorized as a harsh listen, but I enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah, but that's why you like them because they're not what the typical death metal growl sounds
Mm,
like. They're
no,
the extreme opposite end of sounds painful to listen to.
yeah, and
So you see bands like Full of Hell, like Nails, like these guys are sick. I love. By the way, I've always been a hardcore guy, but you'll never tell if you listen to Nerve Cell on record. But people who know me, I
I,
used to play. I used to play a lot of hardcore, like
no,
Nerve
and
Cell.
Nerve Cell does have a little bit of the hardcore in it, right?
Maybe you hear it, yeah. But I've always been a hardcore guy. Like I'm well versed with the hardcore scene as well. So I like it, but if what the it just so happened to be when you get into a band ambience in a room and you want to write music, the death metal stuff is a little more fun to play because it's you got the dynamics and stuff.
True, true,
Yeah,
true.
but I would start a hardcore band tomorrow if I find the right guys for sure. And I'm not talking like punk hardcore. I'm talking like more metal
Yeah,
hardcore.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like your Mad Ball and all of that, right?
Oh yeah, like more like Stamping Ground, Earth Crisis, like these bands, man.
Even I
Got a lot
mean,
of metal
one of the
in
big ones now, I wouldn't call them metalcore because they're more hardcore, is Knock Loose that has broken
there,
out.
for sure. They put on a killer show, man.
Knock Loose broke out, then End, which is a band not many people listen to, but I enjoy the shit out of.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. I love the energy that the hardcore bands bring, and that for me is what converts fans. Like
Yeah,
you may not know of them, you may not like them on record. When you see them live, the way they bring it, man, is just you can't deny the pureness of it.
it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
and
fun.
it's real. It's real. It's not like they're not like having they're putting a fast one on you. Like these guys mean business. They're fucking playing their asses off, and they're pure to it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I mean, how many bands, not just from the local scene, in general, have you seen that? Just I don't know. I felt this. I feel this a lot lately. A lot of bands just form bands and just call themselves a death metal band just to automatically feel they've achieved something or they're cool. Like there's nothing cool about being a death metal band. If
it's
you love it, it's gonna show in the music you write.
it's true. I
But
mean,
it's not fucking trendy. I mean, it never was trendy.
I mean,
I see a lot of bands just even though they are not playing death metal, they just play like a form of heavy music, but they just have a guy to growl, and that makes them be a death metal band today.
true, true. I mean, like I remember there was this one band that I kept giving chances to every single time.
Okay.
Like, okay, you won't disappoint me now, and then they just did, and I was like, hmm. I
Wow.
forgot I forgot the name. I think it was no death metal. 6 Feet Under.
Oh right, yeah, of course, man.
6 Feet Under. I have given Chris Barnes numerous chances.
Right. Okay. What was the first 6 Feet Under album you heard?
Oh, I heard a lot of them. 1 second, I will tell you.
I mean, like the first one you got introduced to them as.
I'll
What was
tell
your introduction to 6 Feet Under? That's important.
you. I'll tell you. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
So, 6 Feet Under, the first record I ever heard from them was actually. So I
And
heard,
when did
I
you
heard,
hear it?
I
What
heard,
album and when did you hear it?
well, for me, I heard, you know, Graveyard Classics 3.
Okay, so that's pretty late in the game.
Yeah, that's really,
And in terms of their discography. Okay,
yeah.
and then when did you hear that?
So I heard that in 2012. But
Oh, that's yeah. So I mean, I listened to 6 Feet Under when they came out, like Haunted, the album came out. Alan West on guitars and Terry Butler, and that was like cool when that came out. It was like mid-pace death metal, and I thought that was 6 Feet Under to me. Now over time, obviously, with the Graveyard Classics and stuff, they were still like doing that thing, but then they kind of took a weird on the album Walked or something. They just kind
I
of
don't know, his vocals.
oh yeah
uh,
yeah he's not really changed, has he?
I don't mind. I mean, when he was with Corpse, also, Fucked with a Knife is my favorite.
Yeah, sure, man.
And I can appreciate the fact that he's still got that, but I don't know. It's very distracting now, and not in
Yeah,
a good way.
you're right. I'm sure if someone came out today and sounded like Chris Barnes or on vocals, if it wasn't Chris Barnes, they would have something to say.
Oh, they would.
Very dry and you can't compare it to Josh Cobb's grind. I mean, he's versatile as hell. But compared to Chris Barnes, but Chris Barnes, that was his style. That's kind of like he was one of the guys, the Godfathers in death metal who got out there with Cannibal. So it's hard to discredit him.
No, I'm not discrediting. I'm just saying that it hasn't aged well.
Right, right. No, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. By the way, that's why I was just kind of trying to figure out like, what was your first impression of Six Feet Under, and then moving from there, what were your expectations?
I have the same, all I have the same issue with a lot of thrash bands also. because
Oh yeah, we can get into that for sure.
because like for me, I love my death metal.
Yeah,
I see people like, you know, getting hard on nostalgia with thrash, and I'm like, I understand your sentiment, but I can't get into it.
right.
Not
Let me ask you straight away.
I
What do you think of Bonded by Blood, Exodus?
I like that record,
Yeah.
but it's not something I would put on repeat.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's fine. I mean, sure. Um, the problem is now this is what I found with my research of talking to people about thrash, and I'm a huge thrash metal fan. Like, in fact, I was more into thrash than death metal at one point, and I think I still kind of am. Because for us, it was always a deicide, love, and testament as a band collectively, as guys in the Nervecell. We always had like, if I had to describe where we were going with the band and musically our influences, those would be the two common names come up: Deicide, Testament, because the guitar playing and the vocals and all of that. We took like the best of both worlds. If you
For
have to name
for
drop a thrash band and a death metal band.
for me, what ended up happening was, even though yes, I do enjoy old school thrash, you know,
Yeah,
but what ended up happening was as soon as I started going more in the underground side of things, I got more exposed to your black and thrash, death thrash, all that sort of stuff. And then normal thrash didn't start appealing to me as much
yeah,
anymore
yeah, sure, man. I mean, I can
because
see.
I got more I got more used to like the harsh vocals only. So
Mm-hmm.
like when I listen to old school thrash, I mean Testament, Chuck Billy still can do
Fuck,
really good harsh
he
vocals.
stands out, man. He still stands out today from all of them.
Yeah, but like say a band like uh not to throw shade, but your Metallica and Megadeth now,
Yep,
the age shows,
yep,
you know.
yep. Dave Mustaine's playing though has been spot
Oh,
on from day
oh,
one.
I mean,
He's just I mean, a lot of people hate the guy for whatever reason, but as a guitar player, he's great. He still shreds.
yeah, the hate is because there was a feud at some point, and people just haven't gotten over that.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah, but not only that, like as a person, Dave Mustaine is very hard to deal with. He's you can never get him at a good time. You'll be very lucky to. But imagine the frustration he's got to deal with all his life. His entire career has been metallic at the back of his head. Or whether he's outgrown it or not, he gets reminded because people still piss him off.
yeah, I mean,
Metallica shirts at the gigs, my Megadeth gigs.
even though they're both in the big four,
Yeah,
Megadeth always gets the backup opinion. Always,
yeah. I mean, they did mess around a bit with Risk of the album, but man, who are we to draw a judgment? I mean, I just kind of think this guy is. It's incredible that they're still going, man. It
Oh,
blows my mind.
I mean, longevity, yeah, can't say
Longevity wise, yeah.
that. That nowadays, with the amount of bands breaking up, reforming,
Oh yeah.
breaking up and forming different bands. I mean, one of my favorite hardcore bands was actually, Every Time I Die.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know the story that's happened there, right? Where 90% of them
The
have,
singer or something they had an issue with, right?
yeah.
The singer
So
or something about uh, everyone ganged up on him, but they said something he did or said. Uh,
and now they're both completely different bands. I mean,
yeah.
um,
I mean, they broke up while on tour. Like they were on
yeah,
tour. Yeah,
yeah. They broke up after the record came out.
yeah, yeah.
The record came
Man,
out.
yeah, like you said. I mean, I'm kind of going through some of that, man. I mean, I was not very happy when the core, like the members who wrote some of the Nerve Cells, not some, a lot of our discography decided to leave on separate occasions, like not related. After COVID, I had to face that, and
Oh,
I went through like at least 2 years of actual depression for it because these were people I knew for 18 years of my life, man. So it's hard to hold the fort where these guys were very much a part of, but the concept of them just giving it up, just I could not register that. Like because I mean we all worked the same amount. We wrote those songs, we toured the world, we learned life lessons, doing this whole thing, enjoying the ride and the struggles, everything that comes with it. And then to just throw it all away, I just couldn't comprehend it. I just felt like, yeah, I worked too hard for that, you know, and I just didn't see how I was the only one seeing it. And the amount of accomplishments and achievements we have received and experienced on along the way, it was very hard for me to,
Oh yeah.
you
Um,
know, think about who's going to fill in these shoes and do I even want to go ahead. And it sucks. So that's why I respect any of these old school guys, come what may. For them to still do it, and their songs are relevant and they still resonate. So that's amazing that they can do it. You just need to
yeah.
be surrounded by the right people, right mental space, mindsets. That is super important. That holds the band together. It's not just one guy and the other guys are just told what to play. It's everyone's got to be in the same
Yeah. I mean,
headspace.
it's a big. Everybody has to contribute.
Yeah, in some way or the other, some people are not as good as writing, but they're good at doing other things. In that is part and parcel of being a band. You know, touring jobs, merchandise, admin stuff, managing,
Production.
negotiating, yeah, booking shows. Like this can all be in house, and this is exactly what I do with Nerve. So I've just learned the ropes myself through the years, and I just cut off all the middlemen. And if there's someone who has a good track record who can handle that job and that pressure, then sure, I'm all yours. But I always believe no one's going to work as hard as you.
True.
Uh,
True.
so I don't like people doing me favors, and I never ask for help or favors. If someone wants to, they'll show up, I believe. But I'm
Yeah.
still here, man. I'm the only one kind of holding it together. I got like 4 songs down as far as Nervecell updates go, and I probably want to write through the rest of this year. We just came back on tour from May. We were in Europe, and I came back in June, and I just promised myself I'm not going to beat myself up to this anymore. I'm not kind of like doing it for anyone. I don't have deadlines or time frames. I'm just
Of
going to
course.
do it
Yeah.
at my pace because I just wanted to like give myself a break as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Enough. But which festival did you do last?
Well, the last show we did was a festival called in Germany. It was called shit. Wait, I remember this. It's Proton Open Air. No, it's not Proton Open Air. That was the year before. It's a Bavarian Battle Open Air in the south of Germany.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
of
Who else was playing there? Oh fuck, I can't remember, man. Actually, I know I'm very good at this stuff. Let me have a look. I have to look it up. There were some black metal bands and death metal bands, man. I don't know, but yeah, it was called Bavarian Battle Opener. That was the last show we played on the 31st of May. Yeah, and then there was a bunch of other festivals and club shows that we booked along the way. Oh yeah, there was Rotting Christ, Tankard. Speaking of thrash,
Yeah, thank
um, Pungent Stench, and Sunder, like this black metal band. Yeah, there was.
I know Sonder.
Yeah. So there was like a lot of black metal bands. Rotting Christ, of course. We met those guys because they played right after us to close the night. We were the band before them, and then that's the first time I met Rotting Christ, and they've been around for like 30 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, went up to the singer and I'm like, hey, what? I said something because Septic Flesh were playing or played Dubai twice, and we did the Dubai Metal Fest. With them being headlining, and we went on before them in December last year, I think.
No, the metal festival happened last year or the last to last year?
It was in December, right?
Wasn't it 2 years ago?
No, it was December with Septic Flesh, Nervecell, and I think Lacuna Coil.
Because it was a 2-day fest, right?
Well, the last in December we played, it was December or November, I think.
because
And that's the last Dubai show we played.
because I remember the first day was Pain.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. We
Second,
played the next day. We played the next day. It was Pain the first day, and then Septic Flesh the second day. And we were on before Septic Flesh. That was the last Dubai show Nervecell played, and that was the first Dubai show in 5 years. Um, so yeah, and then we went out and did the Europe run, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't
I mean,
go
were
for
you,
it.
were you there at the festival? That's why I'm kind of surprised we never met you before in person.
No, I was in India at the time that the festival happened.
Oh well, there was much better bands playing in India anyway, so you didn't
Wow.
miss shit.
The stuff that goes to India now.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it makes sense because there's so many metalheads. There's so many good bands from India, man. So
Yeah,
many good bands, and that's the driving force that keeps people on their feet and makes people realize that there's a scene. If
yeah,
there's no bands out there,
yeah. Like literally, I mean, my friend keeps sending. He's sitting in Bangalore now, and he keeps sending me, "Oh, this band is coming. That band is coming." That
fuck yeah, man. I mean, I
because
went to Slayer in Bangalore. That was the only time I saw Slayer. In spite of all the festivals Nervecell played in Europe, and they were on those bills, not necessarily the same day we played, but I've never seen Slayer before that. So when they came to Bangalore that one time, I hopped into a flight and made sure I got that show. There's very few bands that do that, take a plane to go to another country and catch.
yeah, I mean, I think last year I wanted to go see Cryptopsy very badly.
Yeah, where in Saudi or in India,
In India, bro.
right?
They were going Bangalore.
They played in Saudi too, right? That was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh my
Like
God.
just like maybe 20 days before Metallica played. So
Yes.
Metallica didn't have that claim to be the first metal band in Saudi Arabia, unfortunately.
Well, good
But
thing
if
for
you really want to go, the first band that actually internationally good that played in Saudi possibly could be like Reprobate from Dubai too.
yeah, actually.
Uh, they played there as well. It was an underground gig, but they traveled, so technically, this is when you want to get all geeky about it. But yeah,
And
facts
and I
also.
think like for stage wise, it might
Yeah,
have been, but like India gets all the good stuff now, bro.
for
Suffocation.
sure, man. Oh, dude, Suffocation played there like what, twice now? Bangalore open air, and then they went for a club show.
Hmm.
They were supposed to come to Dubai. Nerfcell was supposed to play that show with them, but then they couldn't. They couldn't do the logistics of it.
Yeah.
'Cause there was some Asia show in Thailand took place first, or Nepal wasn't agreeing because if they weren't going to play Nepal, they weren't going to do Dubai too. That was kind of like the thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
because the one there's an Asian company that organizes
yeah, Slaman Kings.
East Asia and Middle East, I think,
Correct,
for
correct.
certain bands. So that's how
I think
that
that's what we're
works.
going now, which is perfect.
Mm.
But we've actually toured with Suffocation in Europe. I mean, I lived in a bus with these guys, man. In 2009, we did a lot of Oath came out, and they were on tour supporting that album, and we were on tour with them for like 30 days, 28 shows. Literally living with the guys, man, in a nightliner, in a bus, bunk beds on top, and it was one of the. It's still today the best tour I've done because of the way they treated us and just being with Suffocation for that long in such close proximities and getting to see them every night, man, huge.
But I mean, you obviously were lucky because you got to see them with Frank, right?
Yes, that was the last Frank tour as well with Mike Smith as well on drums. So that was the last tour they did with Mike Smith and Frank together in the lineup. Derek, Terrence, and Guy at the time on
The
guitars.
the new guy is great. He's great.
Yeah, I
But
think he's the ex Pyrexia. I forget his name, the ball guy.
no. He's in that other proggy band. Forgot the name. Shit.
I
Uh,
think he did some session work for Pyrexia, I think, or something. Anyway, he holds it up, man.
yeah,
Charlie, right? Charlie's
he's
his name.
he's good. He's good. Like Pyrexia also, like for me, I mean, I'm going to India now. Hopefully, I can catch Skeletal Remains.
Oh, dude, you got it, man.
Hopefully. I don't know when they're coming, but hopefully.
27th or 27th or 22nd or 23rd. I don't know. Some of those dates ring a bell. 22nd, 27th, something.
Then I should be able to catch them.
Oh, for sure, man. If you get a chance, they're killer, man. I love those guys. I think they're the one band I would throw out there who are really keeping the death metal sound alive. like
Yeah,
the proper old school death metal, 90s, mid 90s.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, them and Christian.
Oh,
Christian.
yeah, they're killer. They're like tribal death metal. Three brothers, fucking
I mean,
them many times.
I don't know. They remind me so much of like old Cataclysm.
Christian?
A little bit. A little bit.
Wow, that's weird, man. They're so. I mean, yeah, Christian have been consistent for sure, but Cataclysm, their sound changed over the years from the first albums to now.
Yeah, because I mean, once Mauricio took over, it changed big time.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm trying to see the similarities.
when they go fast.
Yeah, okay, yeah, well, of
When they
course,
go
yeah.
fast.
Because
Not,
Cataclysm, that drummer is good too, man. He's like
oh yeah, yeah,
the last three albums I heard with that guy on. Yeah, he's bringing it back. Like
yeah,
he's doing a pretty good job there. But
yeah.
yeah, the earlier Cataclysm albums were all right. You know, it's like the old mid mid tempo, but also heavy, really heavy guitars and shit. Like, but then the last ones were yeah pretty modern sounding as well.
They're very. They're not clean, but they're nice.
Groove, it's all groove.
I mean, th- did you hear "Banished by Sin"? Deicide.
Yeah, yeah, I did, and I didn't necessarily go crazy about it.
Yeah, same, same,
Yeah,
same.
yeah, because it's like this. It's almost feels like it's all one take, and it's which apparently they recorded the way they describe it really fast. I just feel like there's not. I don't think they really cared much. I feel like
It's not
they feel
very-
like they know what they do and they do it. They do it well. But then I don't think they really went to really put some effort into it because
It's
the previous DSL albums with Ralph Santola and stuff when he was on it, there was some unexpected shit coming up, you know, every now and then. But like on this album, it's just kind of bland. I found.
it felt very phoned in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I That's why I didn't mention a word about it. I guess it kind of just went. Okay, I did my bit by hearing because I'm always I'll have very high expectations of Glenn Benton. I like that guy because he doesn't bullshit, man. He is him, and he knows he what he can contribute and do.
He,
Listen, man. That I have to say, Once Upon the Cross is one of my top five death metal albums for sure.
oh
So
yeah, of course, of course, of course. I
yeah,
mean, for
huge.
me, for me, one of the songs I enjoy the most by Glenn is "Kill the Christian."
Mhm.
It's just fun and it makes me
Yeah,
laugh every time I read the title because I'm like,
yeah,
really?
yeah. Crazy. I mean, the guy's a legend, man. We played with them. We played with DSL in Turkey. I met him once, but everything I expected of the guy. He's an absolute joker, man. He's off stage, off cameras, off script, off behind the scenes. He's just a fucking hilarious guy. Hilarious, very simple. Really. I
Yeah,
guess he's known for being a dick, but yeah, my experience with him was just fun.
all of them seem like that for some reason, just simple and fun.
Yeah. Oh, there's some guys who are assholes. I'll tell you that for sure. There's no doubt about it. There's some guys who are complete dickheads, and they use it to their advantage. But there's some guys who are just awesome. You know, it just makes things so much easier, work wise, and getting to talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, now for me, one of the albums that I'm actually looking forward to now big is the new Nile.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that's been in the work for
that's
ages.
the first single they put out. That was cool, different, unexpected, random, very weird.
The
And
name was too long.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, when you have Kolyos on drums and Carl and man, it's always interesting to see what they do because they'll never outdo themselves like in a way where it's over the top. It's very natural if you hear Niall's discography, man.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, they're not like all the proggy death bands, like
Yeah,
your
yeah,
they're not like a Beyond Creation or
yeah.
an alkaloid or a first fragment, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm looking forward to, man. I think the ones I heard already, but yeah, I can't think of, man. I'm like I said, I'm kind of taking a break from everything now. I'm just kind of like getting back
Yeah,
home.
you need to like detox.
Yeah, detoxing, but I'm always getting insight of what's happening. So when something comes out, I know Blood Incantation are trying to do something new, but that last Character Remains for sure. I bought it actually, that record.
Blood
So
Incantation's record comes out in October.
okay, yeah, so that's what I have an eye on. The Vitriol one I heard. There's a few things, man. I'm not like penciled down anything, but when I get out, when I travel, most of the time, I'm always in the record stores, like checking out what's out and have
Yeah,
my eyes open on that. So
same. I mean, for me, definitely yes. Blood Incantation, I am waiting for because
yeah,
even the ambient album was good.
yeah, I
Like,
like that shit. Yeah.
I would work to that,
Hmm.
just put that in the background and just work.
Yeah. Yeah. So even with me, I'm trying to not listen to stuff too because when I get into a writing mode, I don't want to be stuck on something. Just want to just let my fingers just do its thing. That's
Mm,
really how I write. I don't have a tune in my head. I just pick up the guitar and I just
noodle around.
yeah, and I hear something and I work from there. So that's probably why I'm not really like tuned into listening to new shit. If it comes up, I pick on it, but that's don't go out digging for it.
Oh no, I just catch it and I'm like, okay, this is out now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um well, that was good, Barney.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool, man. Pleasure. I'm glad I got to do it. I haven't done an interview in so long, by the way.
Really?
I don't know what's going on with people now. I mean, I guess because Nervecell is not kind of put out anything new as well. That makes sense. But we were on tour in May, and then they came back in June. But since June, July, August, haven't done any interviews in between. I did like two before the tour for some European websites or something. But yeah, it's been a while since I did interviews. I'm a very discreet guy that way. I like to
Yeah.
whatever I put out in the social media, whatever is always like something that has to have some relevance. All for the band. I don't think people want to know what I'm eating today or any of that shit. I'll never be that Twitch kind of guy or whatever.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I prefer having a very low key sort of guy. And if you want to see me, just get me on stage. That's my best,
Yeah.
And
Makes
then
sense.
that's it. I like that mystique value in bands I look up to, so it makes the experience more better when you catch a concert. So I don't give out too much of my personal life, but of course I do interviews. It's kind of like the necessary evil of what you got to do in this line of work.
Mm, that's true. That's
But
true.
hopefully I'll see you at the gig at the September 7th at the Destruction gig.
I'm actually coming back after that. So
Okay.
if Vinod has anything, I think
Yeah,
he
which you probably will.
I think he has 3 gigs for the latter half, for the
Sure.
latter quarter.
Yeah, he's doing great, man, and pushing the underground. At least someone's got to hold it up. So I'm confident he'll bring more bands.
He did announce 3 of them, but he didn't say when. So I don't know.
Maybe you know more than me then. I just know this Destruction's coming up.
No, what he did last time was when he brought Acranius here.
Who?
He brought Acranius, the German deathcore band.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't there for that.
So
Okay.
when he brought them, he did an announcement that certain bands are coming.
Yeah.
I think he said Evil is coming at some point,
Awesome.
and Mechanical God Creation as well,
Okay.
because Heathen just happened.
Right.
So
Did you go for that?
no, I couldn't,
Yeah. Me too. I didn't go for that.
but I heard a lot of good stuff. I
Right.
heard it was really good.
Yeah. Well, those guys are quite iconic, actually, in the
Yeah,
snap
yeah.
back metal scene.
They're not they're not as well known as the Big Four, but they're not.
Right. Of course not. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but they were part. They were there when it was all happening.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're there.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I'm had I booked to go for his festival,
Hmm.
I would have actually been more interested in Unearth because Unearth is
Oh, dude, that's what I'm going for. So you just basically said exactly what I was saying. I'm going for Unearth actually.
Another
Because,
fun, bro.
dude, they're one of the best metalcore bands as a for me. I mean, they classified metalcore. For me, they were always
They were
way up there.
no. The thing is, for me, the way I always look at Unearth is that they're a hardcore that keeps the metal
Yeah,
side.
their
hard.
breakdowns are unearthed breakdowns. There's breakdowns and then there's unearthed breakdowns. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Yeah, yeah.
like
And also, Trevor, the singer, he's great, man. I mean, the oncoming song is such a good listen of the
oh,
album.
of course, man. Like
Yeah,
I remember in high school I used to keep Zombie Autopilot as my
right,
ringtone.
right. I was in university and that came out, and I was fucking loving it, man. It's just such a good album. You know, melodic. It's got their moments, the climax, the yeah, it's great, man. That's a great album.
I mean, like even they dropped a surprise EP not too long ago. I think with 2 tracks. That was also amazing.
Yeah, yep, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's sad that Ken's not there anymore.
He is right.
He's in play dying, but he didn't play they're in Europe right now, and they're
No,
not
no, no,
playing.
no. I think what happened is they just Ken just went to do guitar work for As I Lay Dying. I don't
Yeah,
think
but he's not in Unearth at the moment. They're doing European festivals, and Ken's not playing guitars. It's just Buzz on guitars. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening there because he was a big songwriter of the band.
Yeah, I know, I know.
But maybe it's just because he's doing the Unearthed run as they lay dying.
Yeah,
Because
because they changed a lot of members after Tim's big shit.
yeah, yeah, that's another thing. That's crazy. I mean, as they lay dying as well. We did a show in Dubai, one Desert Rock Festival actually with them, and then we went to Sri Lanka and played with them as well after. That's where we really got close to them, bonded with them. But now it's just Phil and Tim. But yeah, man, it was some crazy shit that happens along the way. But those were they had their time for sure, and I guess they're back and now
They're back now.
winning people over.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, from what I heard, they got the clean vocals guy from Miss May I or something.
Yeah, the guy who does bass
Mm.
and vocals. Yeah,
Because their bassist went to Spirit Box.
correct, Josh. Yeah, yeah, great, great guy, man. One of the nicest guys I've met, including Nick Heber, who was the other guitarist, who was filled in for God forbid.
He's
Last-
he's got his own band now, right?
Nick's got his own band, or is he doing some solo shit? I don't know if he's got his own band now, but he was filling in for God forbid last year,
he
or
was
this
filling,
year even.
he was filling in for God forbid, but I think he did. Fuck, I forgot the band's name, but he did release a couple singles with one band. Forgot what. I mean, even
He's married to George Lynch.
Hmm.
That's George Lynch's daughter. He's married her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's his wife. They got 2 kids now.
Oh,
Nikki. Yeah,
oh, that's nice.
yeah. Because when we were in Sri Lanka, we spent a lot of time with them there because we did like 3 days there. We had one show, but we had 3 days with them. So everywhere we went in Sri Lanka, the touristic stuff, we were all together as they dying in hope. So press dinners and all that stuff. So one of the chats I had with him, he was just seeing her at the time. I can't remember her name. But he was saying, I have this new girlfriend. Her dad's like a big guitarist, man. He's a big rock star. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting because well, guitarist. And I was like, well, what does he play like locally? And what's his name? And he's like George Lynch. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's like Dokken, man. Like he's playing Dokken.
Of course, yeah.
You should have just said he's the guitarist for Dokken. And he's like, yeah, man, I went to her house and he introduced me to her dad and he was interested to see how I play. And he had like 20 guitars on the wall and shit. So I was very intimidated. But he's like a great guitar player and stuff. It was like fucking George Lynch's daughter. It's crazy. And then he ended up marrying her like 7 years later or something.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, apparently Tim's wife does vocals too.
I heard that, but I don't think I want to talk about her. I mean, I don't. There's 2 sides to every story, and the reason he got into that mess is because whatever his wife and his had. I have no idea. I've never met Tim after that. Time we had.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm telling you, like these guys, when we knew them and we did those shows with them, they was. I mean, you would never tell these are the instincts of people, man. Uh, they were so fucking cool, you know. And then that whole thing came, but obviously Tim was like a toothache back then. And then when he started getting into crazy into the workouts and what do you call um, proteins and all that
Yeah,
shit mixed into it, he kind of lost a bit of himself. And so, I mean, he said it himself. That was affecting his
yeah,
character.
yeah. I mean, he said that in his apology also, I think, right?
Yeah.
Mm. I
Yeah.
mean, one band for me, another band that I've given way too many chances to and been disappointed is Eddie and Suicide Silence.
Okay. Yeah. So the new
The
Suicide Silence with
the yeah,
yeah.
I I gave them way too many chances after Eddie joined. Uh,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, sure. I mean, I see. I don't know. I don't really know much of Suicide Silence. I know all their hits because they release singles and I listen to it. But it's not something that influences me for sure or has influenced me. It's just it's been there. They're holding the fort. They're kind of like those bridge bands, you know. They convert a lot of these newer guys to get into extreme metal because there's elements of extreme in there, but there's a lot of new metal at
but
the core of it all.
I'll tell you one thing. A lot of like core stuff, like your deathcore, metalcore, and how it's become a bit stale.
If it's not always been that way, yes, it has.
I mean, like you've got your Slaughter to Prevail, you've got your
Yeah, dude, I can't stand a lot of these new bands who are just hype related. There's if you listen to why they're big, it's not because of any song. It's because of the hype.
yeah, 100%. And the hype is usually around one single.
No, it's not even about that's still song related. I'm talking like this guy. You should check out the singer, man. He can growl and yeah, okay. And what else? He fights with bears and he's from Russia but now lives in America. Are we talking about music here? Or are we talking about like a story?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? There's a
It's
lot of that.
I mean, it's become more about like
And the other guy, Will from what's that band called? The
with
Lana
Will
Shore.
from Lorna Shore. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, sure. His vocals are unique, but again, it's I don't know, man.
it's become more about the person and less about the band. Yeah,
This is okay, but then you hear the music too, and it's like you talk about overproduced earlier. You talk about hype. You talk about there's I don't know. Just there's no soul in the music.
yes.
Yeah, this is me, man. Again, I have not seen either of these bands live. Maybe if I do one day, I'll change because I know when Dillinger Escape Plan came out and I heard their stuff, I was like, oh yeah, all right, cool. They seem to know what they're doing, jazzy and breakdowns and off time. I saw them live, instant fan, just because I couldn't comprehend how the fuck they do that, man. When they were playing it live, like tight and breaking their bones literally, I was like, this is crazy. This is cool shit. I got into it immediately because I saw that they're really working it.
Oh yeah,
No,
they
they look like the average Joes, you know. But when you see them live, you really appreciate the talent.
that band is not for everyone.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about it too.
But if you give them a chance, they surprise the shit out of
Yeah, I saw them at the Gigant tour, like Megadeth's tour that he does, Dave Mustaine, in Atlanta in America, and this was when I was in university in Canada. So I traveled to see this. The lineup was killer. It was Megadeth, Dream Theater, Symphony X, Fear Factory, a band called Dry Kill Logic, if you remember, they came out for a little while,
it.
and Nevermore. So and Dillinger Escape Plan, like the third band in the afternoon, and
Jesus.
that was nuts, man. It came in. And so that's an example of a band that you hear and you think they're just hyped up, but when you see them live, blow you away. So I don't know if I'll ever see Lana Shore or these guys
Now,
Sludge, but they do sound brutal. I mean, we'll give them that.
I mean, now the big egg is falling in reverse. And
Yeah, been
people,
hearing a lot about this band for some reason. Like I'm not
no,
sure
see,
why.
the best way,
Marketing, maybe.
one thing that I've noticed, especially after COVID or during COVID also, okay, when gigs were not happening or gigs were being virtual, hmm,
Hmm.
is a lot of these bands, small bands, like say your Code Orange,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
say you're Falling in Reverse, Slaughter to Prevail, Lorna Shore, all of these guys, even something like that Sleep Token, you know, all of these guys blew up during COVID and after COVID because a lot of people started what I like to call the reaction space. You know,
Right.
like if you go on YouTube, you'll find this person reacts to metal, this person reacts to
Oh,
uh,
dude, I hate those, man.
yeah,
I hate those. And
but
the faces they make at like the screenshots or whatever. What do you call those? What do you call the clip they put out there?
the
Yeah,
thumbnail.
the thumbnails. They look fucking stupid. It's like
Yeah,
eyes
but
blown up and
yeah,
jaws
but,
open wide. It's like, come on, man. It looks so fucking fake.
yeah, but if you see, it's all part of the algorithm.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. I just I can't bring myself to being in falling for that shit. You know,
Yeah,
like reaction videos. But you're right. I see the connection you're making.
because I think the hype comes from there. Because as it
Yeah.
is the
And I'm
algorithm.
sure there's some credible guys there in that space who give unbiased like reactions. But then a lot of it's like annoying to watch because it's just so point blank fake.
Mm,
But yeah, but I see what you're saying. I understand what you mean, and that's starting to make sense. Yeah,
yeah, because otherwise, I don't think these bands would have had as much traction. But
yeah, that's a fair point. Makes sense. I was asked to do a reaction video for one of the local bands
oh,
here.
oh no,
Yeah, and yeah, I think by now you should know me. I just said fuck no. I just said, bro, in the most polite way. I don't believe in this shit. I literally told the guy, like, I don't believe in it. I think it's just not my character to do that. And I think give me this stuff to listen to. I'll write down what I think to you and give you the tell you what I think because he was even I was quite flattered that he asked me even, but I just don't do those sort of things. I don't know, man. It's
I don't
not.
know. No, the issue with the reaction video also is that it becomes scripted anyway because you'll do your natural reaction, but then you'll edit it, put in your thumbnail.
But
Uh,
you know you're doing this that's going to be out there for everyone to watch your reaction. So you're not really naturally reacting anyway. You are doing it for a score, like someone's going to watch you. You
yeah,
know that that's the end result. So whatever your natural instincts are, you're going to put it on or fake it or overhype it anyway because it's you're going to be out there, and man,
yeah,
everyone's going to watch you for the rest of time.
exactly. I mean, that's why you've got the really messy caption or the, you know, all of that.
Yeah, no, no, fuck. I just said no, man. It was one of the local bands anyway, so I just said, no, give it to me, man. I'll listen to it and I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah, that's a lot better actually, because then
Yeah,
you're actually unbiased.
yeah,
Like,
man. I mean, shit. If I was really concerned, I would want someone to give me their 100% feedback on something. But like I said, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't give into that shit. It's just I'm from an old school way of doing things, man.
of
And I think
course.
this I just feel uncomfortable doing shit like that.
True, true, true,
Yeah.
true. Ah, all right, Barney.
Hey, yeah, man. Cool. I think we got a good 2 hours at least over here.
Yeah, we did actually. I think because we started at like 3:20 ish. I think it's five now.
Right. I have to have lunch. It's 5, but I
Same,
haven't. Yeah.
same.
Yeah. I'm a weird guy. I eat when I'm hungry. So I
Yeah,
got at least I built my appetite doing this with you.
yeah. It was fun though. We talked a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really surprised we haven't met before, but I'll catch you around at one of Vinod's gigs, like you were saying. I'm sure.
For sure, for sure. Let me come back and then we can.
Yeah. Have a great trip, bro. And Cash Skeletal Remains, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna be worth it.
No, I actually like. So I have your episode today, and then
Okay.
right after you at around 7:30, I have Cask as well, the thrash band, the Indian thrash band that just did Wacken.
Oh shit! Yeah. Hey, dude, say hi to those guys. Say hi
Sure.
to the guys. I mean, I met them when they played at Vinod's gig a couple of months ago. We hung out at there, after the gig, and
Yeah, they were at the gig when I fell because
oh right, okay, so okay, yeah, I
Cask then got lit after
that
no.
was that's right. So we were all hanging out and say hi to them. Can't remember the singer's name, but I know we've connected. But definitely say hi to them. I know they did the walk-in thing as well. So yeah, send my regards.
I'll do that. I'll
Yeah.
do that. Ah,
Cool.
thank you for doing this with
Yeah,
me.
pleasure, man. Pleasure. It's been a while I did an interview, so it's nice to went out.
I mean, technically, this wasn't an interview. I didn't ask
Yeah,
that.
it's more of a catch up, right?
I just let you express yourself.
Right. Yeah, yeah. There wasn't any nerve cell specific questions, so that was okay.
Yeah, but I didn't see with me and this podcast. I don't tend to go too technical or anything like that because
Cool.
you want to. I prefer to focus more on the personality of said person.
Yeah, that's cool. And in any case, if you ask me any nerve cell stuff, I wouldn't have any, hidden gem details to tell you anyway, because I know I'm taking a back seat for now, but the rest of the year I'm going to work at my own pace. So there's new music already, but there's new music to come out. I need to plan and structure that a little more. And I'm like a one-man machine at this point, so I'm just enjoying the downtime right now, and in due time for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's cool that you like preaching venom, man. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, like sometimes I used to just sit down on YouTube and watch the music video for Flesh and Memories.
Oh, Demean, maybe we didn't do a video for Flash.
Yeah, there was a live vid that was circulating a long time ago.
I don't know. Maybe.
I used to
Maybe that's a rock one.
yes,
That's a rock one. Yeah,
yeah. So I used to watch that.
yeah. Those were good days. Those days aren't the same anymore, man. The crowds were more, the loyalty factor of going to gigs were more. People were more into it. So much different than now.
True.
The scene's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, but it'll still get better. It's back on its feet. That's the main thing.
Thanks to the guys doing the shows, promoters, Vinod, Metal East Records, Josie, and all these guys for Dubai. I'm talking about Dubai specific. It's good that they have some foundation of concerts still happening on the regular, and that's you got to give them credit. And Metal East Records, of course, a good friend of mine, Natazim, he started even the record label now. And
Yeah, and the shop, and the
Yep.
store.
Yep. So these are every scene's got to have these core players involved apart from the actual bands. And I'm always supportive of the local scene, man. I've always gone to shows, looked at local bands, and I can tell in like 10 minutes of watching a band if this has an expiry date for 6 months or potentially going in for 5 years, one album in,
Mm.
or these guys mean business and I'll put my name behind them. I've seen all of that. And it's just that Dubai is such a place where you have people typically who stay here not for too long, and the ones who do get stuck with life and then
Yeah.
don't for long. I don't know how I managed to do it this long. I'm just stubborn. That's all I can say. There's no plan. I'm surprised I'm even here this far, and so just enjoying and making the best of it. That's what it's got to be about.
True
Having-
that.
Yeah.
True that. All right, buddy.
All right, man. You have a safe trip. Fucking good doing this with you, man.
My
Metal
plan.
Meltdown.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, just let me know when you have anything interesting coming up.
Sure. Let me get the cask episode done. I will upload both of these together, and
Sure.
then I'll link you.
Yeah. Probably watch that one too. Yeah.
No problem.
Awesome. Say hi to the guys, and yeah, have a good one, man. Try and catch the gig.
I'll do that.
It's a nice waiter shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I got it here when they came.
Right. Yeah. That's special.
Yes.
It's got the Dubai thing at the back, right?
Yeah.
I know that show.
For me, I was very happy. I was actually sad because they didn't do my favorite song,
Which is what?
Dark Transmission.
Okay. Yeah. Damn, they have so many albums out now.
It's-
Deep Profundus is a Waiter album that no one talks about. It's one of my favorite. Deep Profundus.
Yeah.
And Litany. These two are like the best.
Litany is super underrated, man.
Yeah.
Litany is super underrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about Waiter in another episode.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, again, big influence. We did Preaching Venom was in her studios where Waiter did a lot of the albums in Poland.
Oh.
So the Walski Bros, they mixed and mastered our shit. Just throw that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, man. Take care.
but
I'm doing this with you. Have a
pleasure.
good one. Be safe, bro. See
You
you
too.
soon.
You too. Take.